Hey y'all, welcome to today's video. My name is Penny Larson and I am happy to have you with me today. This is going to be another in my ongoing series of Penny Recommends. For the most part, what I'm going to do is recommend albums you should check out. There will be times where we'll do deeper dives when I'll talk about bands and drummers, but this is mostly me trying to get you to listen to music that you may not know, and music that's been important to my formation as a musician, as a drummer. If this is your first time here, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. There's lots of stuff here. There's drumming, there's performances, there's drum lessons, and there's videos like this, which are going to be a little bit more talky. If this video isn't your thing, I encourage you to skip this one and, just hang around for me playing. If you like me talking, this is your jam. The album I want to talk about today is Miles Davis live at the Fillmore East. And I cannot overstate how important this album was in my formation as a musician, especially as a young musician who had grown up in drum and bugle corps. And then in my mid-teens, I made the transition to, playing in rock bands, falling in love with Led Zeppelin. I was always in love with Rush, and I liked other music too, but until I was about 16 or 17, I thought drum corps music was like the ultimate form of music. And I still like big bands more than the vast majority of people because of that, right? Hearing the horns is just very powerful to me. But I also knew, I liked jazz, but I had never really dived deep into jazz. And as I was trying to learn how to play jazz in my mid to late teens and really play it, right? I mean, I joke that even nowadays I kind of sound like a rock drummer trying to play jazz. And to a certain extent, that's true because I haven't lived with the music or like Mike Johnston would say, I haven't fellowshipped with jazz the way I have with some other styles. But I like to think I can at least, sound not like an idiot, right? In my teens, I sounded like an idiot, right? Trying to play jazz. And there's, if you haven't grown up with this swing feel, ting, ting, ka-ding, ting, ka-ding, ting, ka-ding, it can be tough to take that into your sense of time feel. I was listening to some jazz, but it wasn't hitting me. And then I discovered this record. I used to buy CDs from a place called Audiophile Imports when you had to actually buy CDs and some music would actually be hard to find. Yes, there was such a time. And I found this record. I don't even remember how. I don't remember why. This was the first Miles Davis record I got. And in some ways, it's a really weird place to start with Miles Davis, but it was the perfect place for me to start because if you don't know Miles Davis, I think he's the most important American musician ever. He single-handedly changed jazz several times, right? He was one of the creators of cool jazz, the modal jazz, if you know, kind of blew that record. One of the biggest jazz records ever. That was him kind of yanking jazz in a certain direction. And then in the late 60s, he pretty much pioneered what would become fusion, jazz rock fusion, with a record called Bitches Brew. Just because of things that happened, I actually got this record before I got Bitches Brew because I knew Miles a little, but I didn't know his catalog, right? So Let me tell you about this record. Jack DeJohnette is the drummer on this record. I already knew that Jack DeJohnette was so good. Jack DeJohnette is so good. Jack DeJohnette really was the one that taught me about making the drums sound completely solid and in the pocket, and also like they were falling down the stairs and being sheer chaos, and having that turn into some unified whole of awesomeness. So Jack DeJohnette is on drums, Miles is on trumpet, of course, Steve Grossman is on saxophone, Chick Corea and Keith Jarrett are on keys, and Dave Holland is on bass, and Airto Moreira is on percussion and vocals. And the interesting thing about this record is, I keep using the word record, it came out in 1970 at a time when records were the way that we consumed music for the most part. And so, a record only has a certain amount of time on each side, right? Imagine like you were filling up the memory on your iPhone like that, right? You only have so much time on a record. And so Teo Macero, I am so butchering. I'm terrible with people's names, and I really try hard, but let's go with Teo Macero. Ugh, I apologize. Even when people tell me their name and they say it in front of me and my ears hear it, I have trouble reproducing the sounds because I'm terrible that way. Anywho, back on track. He edited the 4 concerts down to a double album. And so, the one night, the first side of LP1 is called Wednesday Miles. And it's an edited together version of the entire set that night, which is probably something like an hour and a half or so, down to 25 minutes, right? Maybe they only played 45 minutes, but whatever. It's this whole night that they played, edited down into 20-ish minutes. And then Thursday Miles, the same thing on the next side. And then the other album was Friday Miles and Saturday Miles. And I didn't really understand that at the time. I guess I did on like a light level, but I didn't know that this music was from the record Bitches Brew. There's definitely a lot of improvisation going on here, but there's also a lot of themes from from Bitches Brew. There's that Bitches Brew theme, which is like, I'm going to sing it for you because why not? But it'll be terrible, so I apologize. But it's like da-dum, ba-dum, 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 and it's just, oh my God, it's so good, right? It's so good. And they bring that up over the course of the 4 sides. A funny thing happened, though, a few years ago. Once CDs happened, and definitely once online music became a thing, they released a new version of this called Miles at Fillmore Bootleg. And nowadays, if you look for this record, good Lord, I'm going to figure out hey, here it is. There we go. I'm going to figure this out eventually. I apologize. New streamer. Hey. So if you look for this record now, right, you will find this record, even though it has this cover. So this record is actually difficult to find in my, little bit of research. I'm going to include down below some links to the original album and maybe the original CD in case you want to check those out. Maybe it's just because I got that first, but I actually prefer that to the full concert version. That for some reason doesn't sound right to me, to hear all the songs like separate the way Because in the original Miles at Fillmore, the each night it's literally edited together to be like 1 24-minute stream of consciousness song. There is no break, right? And oh man, whenever 18, 19, 20-year-old, whatever I was, me that got this, it completely changed my world. So why was it the gateway drug to jazz for me? There's something about the groove that Jack DeJohnette lays down for a lot of these tunes there's a lot of straight eighth kind of 2/4, almost rock-ish kind of grooving, but there's also a lot of swing. And because there's no guitar, but it has like a rock kind of ethic. It just helped me to like kind of see jazz in a very new way, and to feel that swing, that pulse related to the pulse, the drum corps, and the rock that I had grown up with. And so forever, if this isn't the most important record I've ever heard, it is one of them. The music is amazing. It gets a regular listen in my rotation, so it still holds up for me. But it's also, if there were stars in the sky and the size of the star was based on how important the music was, this would be one of the biggest stars in my sky. Like, this album is huge. I encourage you to check it out. And don't listen to it on your iPhone while you're like doing something. This is a record that demands listening to, critical listening. Sit, don't do anything else. Just listen. Just let this music penetrate you, and really try and experience what these masterful musicians are giving you in this music, in this performance. Okay, so Miles Davis live at Fillmore East. Check it out. Okay, so that's going to do it for today. I appreciate y'all being here. If you like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Give me a like, and subscribing to the channel would be awesome. If you want to see when I go live, I've been trying to do more live streams, and also when I release videos, to make sure you don't miss anything, you can hit the little bell notification icon. If you like what I do and you'd like to support me more tangibly, I do have a Patreon, and it would be great if you joined me over there. I am doing some exclusive content over there as well, so it's not just about throwing me a couple bucks, although throwing me a couple bucks is lovely. I appreciate that too. All right, that's going to do it for today. This is definitely going to be a regular series going forward for at least a while. There's so much music I want to tell you all about, and that I bet you don't know about. And so I'm still discovering new stuff every day. So we're going to kind of, I'll bounce around a little bit. The last week, it was, an album from last year. This album is from 50 years ago. I groan because so am I. I'm from 50 years ago too. So, so that'll do it. So maybe next week we'll do another, maybe newer-ish one, and then we'll jump around in the timeline. All right. Thank you all for watching so much. I will see you all again real soon. All right. Love you guys. Bye.